Let's explore bottom-up approach of assembly in CATIA V5. We had discussed that whenever we open the software, by default it shows the product interface. That is actually your assembly interface. So if you are opening the software, then by default you will be getting the assembly environment. If not, then you will need to go for Start, Mechanical Design, Assembly Design. I repeat, Start, Mechanical Design, Assembly Design. Click on this. Now in this particular case you will not be getting the new part interface because that is specifically for the parts, not for the assembly. So it will not ask you the name of the part over here. Then on the left hand side you have the feature tree, history tree. Now I will call it as assembly tree. Toolbars we will be using product structure tools, move, constraint, space analysis. These toolbars will be in major focus. Tools from these toolbars we will be using. Now I have to define the name of the assembly. Then what I will need to do is I will need to go to feature tree, right click, properties. Over here I will define the name of assembly because it is necessary to give a unique name. Otherwise, if product1 named file is already available in your directory, then it might create problem. It might confuse the software. So I will give valve assembly. I will be showing you the valve assembly as an example, so I will give that name. I'll say OK. So the name is updated over here. Also valve assembly.cat product. Now the file extension is cat product because we are working with the assemblies. As we discussed in the bottom-up approach, we already have created parts available. What we do, we call those parts one by one and then assemble them. So I will be calling the first part. I have already created parts for valve assembly and those parts are actually stored in a separate folder. From there I will pick those parts. So I'll start with calling the first part. So your product structure tools will help you. From product structure tools, select the existing component option. You will be able to call the parts using this option, this tool. Click on this, then it will ask you select a component into which the existing component will be inserted. So whatever component, whatever part you want to insert, exactly where you want to insert. I want to insert that into valve assembly, so I will click on this, then it will show me the folder. So this is my folder where I have created the parts of valve assembly. See, you can check the preview as well, like this. So these are the parts. I will pick the first part with which I can attach maximum number of parts. So I say I'll pick valve body and I'll say open to this. This is how valve body will be available. If you are observing this valve body, then this valve body is actually looking in a perspective manner. This is actually behaving, the software is actually behaving like perspective view. It is showing you in perspective view. I will have to change that. So for that I will go into view, render style, and I will change the render style to parallel. Observe the difference as soon as I'll click on parallel. See, now this is isometric projection or isometric view you have. So you have the first part available. This is your first part, wall body, and when you insert a particular part in the assembly environment, you can see it comes up with its own complete feature tree. Whatever we have performed in the part design environment for the wall body, everything will be listed over here. Can you tell me how many degree of freedom this particular part has? Whenever we create the assembly, what we have to do? We have to restrict the degree of freedom. I'm not talking about the mechanism or working of assembly. I am just talking about the assembly. I just want to assemble the parts. So, how many degree of freedom this particular part will have? This part will have 6 degree of freedom. It can translate about x, y and z axis. Similarly, it can be rotated about x, y and z axis. And what we have to do? We have to restrict all 6 degree of freedoms of each and every part. What we will be doing? I have the first part, I have to restrict the degree of freedom, but to restrict the degree of freedom, we don't have any reference available. Whenever we insert our first part in the assembly, we apply fix assembly constraint to that. From the constraint toolbar, I will be selecting fix constraint, select this and select the component. That's it. Over here you will be able to see a fixed constraint applied on valve body. This particular part has been fixed. It means all 6 degree of freedom of this part has been restricted. How to check? We can go for analyze degree of freedom. Now check this. Valve assembly is not included in an assembly. Degree of freedom cannot be computed. The reason is what I had selected. The selection is valve assembly. Definitely I am not checking the degree of freedom for the assembly. What I am doing is I am checking degree of freedom for the part. I'll select, double click on the part, and then I will say analyze degree of freedom. So there is no degree of freedom. Valve body 1 is fixed in context of valve assembly. So in the context of valve assembly, valve body has no degree of freedom. This is what I wanted. Again I'll activate the assembly. Next, another way of checking degree of freedom can be, you can simply right click on the particular part for which you want to check the degree of freedom, and yes, over here this is the option component degree of freedom. There is no degree of freedom for valve body. Quickly I'll insert another part. I'll go for existing component, or I can go for this option as well, existing component with positioning. I'll select this. Again I'll select the assembly in which I want it to be inserted, and then I'll select the next part. So as a next part I'll be selecting valve base. So the base is available. Now as I had selected existing component with positioning, what it will do, it will allow me to position my part as soon as I insert it. So it will ask me to select the references. So I will select, say, this axis, the axis of this valve base, to be aligned with this axis of valve body. It is been aligned. I'll go for more coincidence. Okay, so this is how I can align. You can see there is no such constraint applied over here, but what I had done is I had actually aligned the part. Okay, next what I will do, I will apply the constraint. First check the constraint for valve base. Valve base has 6 degree of freedom, 3 rotational and 3 translation. I will apply, first constraint is for coincidence. What I will do, I'll go for coincidence. I want to coincide this axis of this hole with, say, this axis of hole. And just zoom in. This one. Coincidence is being done. The constraint is added, but it is in update mode. So just update. You can go for Control U, or you can directly update all from the toolbar. You can see it has been updated. Let's check the degree of freedom. Rotation about z-axis is open. Translation about z-axis is also open. Let's restrict that as well. Again coincidence constraint. This time this particular axis with this axis. Now check the degree of freedom. Only translation in z direction is remaining. Again coincidence, this face with this face. I want to coincide. Say OK and update. So this is how your part is coincided. Let's check the degree of freedom again. There is no degree of freedom for valve base in context of the assembly. This is what we had to do. Whenever you insert a part, first make it fully constrained or restrict all 6 degree of freedom of that, then and only then insert another part. For inserting the part, you have two options: existing component or existing component with positioning. Existing component will give you the part, and then you can apply the constraints as per your requirement. Existing component with positioning will allow you to orient or position the part along with the insertion. This is what these two tools does. I'll insert another part, existing component, over here. This time say I'll go for cap. So the cap is inserted. Now it is within the part. What I can do is I can go for manipulation. From the move toolbar, manipulate, select it, select the part, and then select the direction. These are for translation, these are again for translation but in plane, and these are rotation about the axis. So say I want to translate it in the x direction, this is how I can translate it. Then I want it to be rotated about this axis, so this is your y axis, like this. This is how it will be rotated. Y axis it is considering at the origin only. Then again I will translate it like this. Then I will translate in z direction like this. All these things I can perform. I'll say OK. We can apply contact constraint. I can give contact between faces, say this face and this face, and say update. So there will be a contact between these two faces which I had defined. Now another constraint I can give axis to axis, say update. Now practically this thing is not possible, just to show you the constraint I had applied. Another constraint that I can give is offset when I want to define the distances. Say I'll just delete the contact constraint. Now what I want is I want to define the distance, offset distance between this part and this face and that face. I'll first manipulate it along x-axis, and then I want to set it up at some distance. So offset from this face to this face. How much offset you want? Say I want 20 mm. Update. It will be applied. If you want in the negative manner, then you can go for -20 as well. It will maintain face to face. Similarly, if you want to give the angles, that also you can give. I'll delete the constraints. Now this is available like this, this is available like this. Say I want to give angle between this axis and this axis. Angle constraint actually allows me to give three types of constraints: perpendicularity as well, parallelism as well, and angle as well. Say if I want to give the angle as 45 degree, okay. So these two will always be at 45. Or if you want to change the constraint, then you can right click on the constraint, change constraint, click over here. It will show you the other possibilities between the objects you had selected. Say I want these two to be perpendicular, then I'll say okay, these two will be perpendicular. Like this we use these 5 constraints: fix, angle, offset, contact, and coincidence. Also, most important thing, that whenever you try to restrict all 6 degrees of freedom of any part, you will have to restrict them using minimum or maximum 3 constraints only. So to restrict the 6 degrees of freedom, you will have to select the required combination of 3 constraints only, just to restrict all 6 degrees of freedom. Remember this, you cannot use more than 3 constraints. Remaining things from the bottom-up approach we will see in the next section.